Out of the 8 billion podcasts that claim to talk about sports, 99% of them talk football and basketball. And that's about it. That's because they don't know about anything else. And they bore you to tears. Welcome to the Sportsocracy, the Ocho, where sports meets comedy, sports analysis, laughs, and the occasional debate that'll likely blow the roof off. We're rowdy and loud and bringing the party straight to your ears.
The party has arrived.
And by the way, you don't have to be a sports fan to like this show, because we're pretty damned awesome, even when we're not talking sports. From baseball to hockey to wrestling to the UFC and beyond, we love it, and we're talking about it. And now your hosts, Armchair, hailing from Canada. He's a sports encyclopedia. And Dubs, the quintessential masshole who's always down for some lively banter and a little bit of the green stuff. And we're not talking about the outfield grass. Let's rock this. This is the Sportsocracy, the Ocho.
We did it once again, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, welcome into the Ocho. I am, of course, Armchair. We got Dubs over, hanging out in Boston. Well, close to ish. Well, whatever. You know, listen, it's all the same thing. I live in.
It's a frozen tundra right now, regardless. So.
We're ice cold here. It's brutal.
It's been cold as fuck the last few days. We got temperatures in the teens. It's not.
Yeah, it's not
ideal. There's nothing worse than having to wake up that extra early for work to go outside and chip your fucking car out of the ice.
It's pretty miserable.
It's just a disheartening way to start your morning. You're like, God damn, you're fucking cold. I don't wear proper footwear because I don't like boots. Sue me. And I hate wet socks, which you'd think I would solve that problem, you know. By wearing it's boots. It's an easy solution. I understand. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just saying I don't. My feet are wet and I hate it.
I have definitely had to plug my car in overnight, so I will absolutely say that I understand not wanting to do it. There's absolutely nothing worse than having to preheat your vehicle because it's too cold outside. So
the word my move is preheating. I can deal with the 5 minutes of being cold or whatever in the car till it warms up, but I need it to get the ice off the freaking. No, it's not.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
I had to put the fucking I put it on just to get the ice melt going because
you got to do it.
Going at that just like dry with the scraper is tough.
We're going to start the show off with some heavy stuff. First and foremost, it's a big day in hockey. The 2018 World Junior Canadian team has had 5 players requested to report to the London police in Ontario to face charges of sexual assault. So there are allegations against several members of this team. There's been an investigation going on for a little more than a year. We're not going to get into the names. We've been trying to figure out the right way to do this. And I think that until things have been confirmed, we don't want to be the reason that someone is getting unjustly called out here. So you can figure out the math makes sense. There have been 5
if you look into it, you'll find it pretty easily.
There have been people that have requested indefinite leaves of absences from teams who all also happen to have been on that team.
And all of the teams that let the players go on leaves of absences declined to comment on anything. I have this article, a little snippet I can just read a little bit of real quick. This is from TSN. Rick Westhead wrote this. London police announced later in the day that they expect to hold a media availability on February 5th to provide updates. They said, we understand that there's significant public interest in relation to a sexual assault investigation dating back to 2018. They released a statement on Wednesday. They anticipate that they will hold a press conference on Monday, as I said, February 5th, to share further details. Location and timing of the press conference will be shared once details are confirmed. They're related to an alleged sexual assault in June 2018 involving players from the 2018 Canadian World Junior team, as Armchair said. But not a whole lot of information out yet.
Don't do crimes.
No, don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes.
There are recreational crimes, not here, not there either, right? You can, yeah. But you definitely don't do these crimes. These crimes are horrific, and hopefully the punishments are that. If what happened, the punishments, I hope, are appropriate. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, because there are people under contracts. These cases don't happen quickly. It's not like they show up on these, let's say player X turns himself into the police Tuesday. It's not like Wednesday or Friday they're like, all right, now let's go to trial. They take years to develop. So there's a lot riding on this for a lot of people, but there's also victims to look out for. So we'll keep you posted with whatever we find out, whenever we find out. Rick Westhead is also the same guy that broke the Chicago Blackhawks cover-up of sexual assault within the organization. Yep. So very reputable reporter. I would suggest giving him a follow over on Twitter, because I'm not calling it X. So
I can't do it. I say Twitter every time too. People know what you mean.
So
if you're just discovering that app, I don't care.
Well, then where have you been? All right, let's get to fun stuff. Question of the day is, who's on your goalie Mount Rushmore? We're going to let you put that into the comments. But we had some, it was an interesting week in sports all around. I want to touch on a couple of quick trades. My boy Spicy P got dealt from the Raptors. We don't do a lot of basketball on the show usually, kind of mostly. Well, I mean, I guess the Sportsocracy rarely covers it, but they occasionally touch on it. But this was too big not to touch on. Spicy P dealt for a haul.
A big haul.
That's a big haul. I don't know.
I saw the reports breaking of what the
ask.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that's a lot. I don't think they're going to get that much. And then they got pretty much exactly that.
Yeah. So it's
I'm gonna pull up the actual full details of it here for you.
Three picks: Bruce Brown and
Jordan and Wara.
Yeah, a couple other guys.
Yeah, 3 first-round picks, which are all expected to be late first-round picks. Jordan and Wara, Bruce Brown, all to the Raptors for Spicy P. And the last Bruce piece Brown, of that Raptors title gone.
No, one more. Chris Boucher's still there.
Oh, Chris Boucher.
Which he's also
forgive me for forgetting Chris Boucher.
He's also expected to be dealt. Shout out Raptors championship MVP Rui Jeremy Lin. I think he was on that team. Pretty sure he dribbled up the court. So yeah, it's
awesome. He showed up. He drank out of a water bottle.
Yeah, we had a couple of other. He did some. He made sure there's no violations, no backcourt violations. He dribbled the ball up the court. It happens.
We had for Jeremy Lin. God, that was fun. It was a moment in time.
Linsanity?
Yeah.
Terry Rozier dealt?
Terry Rozier gone, having a career year right now. Guy's been absolutely killing it in Charlotte. They're just going young, right? Brandon Miller, LaMelo.
Gotta do it.
Terry Rozier's pretty expensive, which is why the Celtics let him go to begin with. Love Terry Rozier, though. Super fun to watch play. Guy's an absolute dog. Not happy he's going to the Heat. Because that gives them the guy's averaging 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. You don't hear a word about him.
No.
He's doing it on Charlotte, who sucks. But not going to be great for me. Kyle Lowry, another champion Raptor, was the one that was dealt in this trade. They also gave up a first-round pick. But, this gives them Rozier, Hero, Jaime Jaquez, who's been a dog this year.
Yeah, it's been good.
They scare me. Rightfully so. They just bounced us in the conference finals. We always struggle with them, and we shouldn't. But hopefully Kristaps will fix that, because they have nobody over 6'10", and we can't rebound against them. Which
they're real little, and you can't catch a ball over them. So
no, it's
got to figure that out.
quickly.
The shocking news of the week from the NBA was the Milwaukee Bucks unceremoniously dismissing their head
Adrian
coach.
Griffin, yeah.
I'll
43
leave this one to you.
games.
I'll leave
43
this one to
games
you.
into his head coaching career. The second place Milwaukee Bucks fired their head coach.
Didn't even tell him why, though.
No, I mean, it's supposed he lost the locker room, which I understand that, but in 43 games, and we'll get to the guy he replaced to begin with. We'll get there in a second. Or the guy that replaced him, excuse me. Like I said, 43 games in their head coaching career. Bucks are second place in the Eastern Conference. They're 30-13, I believe, is their record right now. Yeah, 30-13. Dame Lillard, Giannis, obviously title contenders, and it's just a absurd move. The NBA, a lot of former players were like, "What?"
Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all.
It's crazy, and I'm sure, like ownership, they got to pay that, right? Got to pay that guy money. It's just like any other sport. Like
You got to pay. You got to pay the man.
Sign the contract. You still got to pay the guy. Which I don't know. And then we're going to replace him with Doc Rivers.
By the way, go check out the recording of today's episode of the Sportsocracy. Jeremy does a fantastic Doc Rivers.
Does he? I missed that part. I was at work at that point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch it back. But Doc Rivers, if Adrian Griffin, he lost the locker room, whatever. You don't think he's going to get you far in the playoffs, and this is a championship caliber roster. So you go and replace him with a guy who notoriously cannot get far in the playoffs, no matter what kind of talent he has. You have all the Clippers years where he didn't do shit. You had all of the Philadelphia years just now where they couldn't get by with MVP Embiid and just dropped 70 the other night. Good God. Too bad. Yep. Doesn't matter. You're not going to make it past us in the playoffs. We'll see you in game 7. Mm-hmm. It just blows my mind. It was an absurd move, unprecedented. And the replacement, like, it's not like they're replacing him with some golden, like, beacon. You know what I mean? Like, it's Doc Rivers. He just got fired a few months ago, and everybody was like, I don't think he's going to get another job. And now all of a sudden he's weaseled his way back into a top-tier coaching job. I saw people floating this around. Their owner had a quote that like something about a time, like time, like going on, and then you're against the clock. And he was like, you're always on a clock with Giannis. So kind of a weird quote, and maybe that had something to do with it. I know when they pitched the head coach to begin with, Drew Holiday was still on the team and like expected to be a big veteran voice in the locker room, and then he got dealt immediately. It was awful. And then Giannis, Dame, they're all saying the same thing, like, we just got to gel and find our rhythm. And I feel like they did. The 30-13 is a good season, and then they just, like, you're going to have to do that same process you had at the start of the season again, unless Doc just shows up and goes, you guys got it, which he could very well do that. But then why fire the guy? I don't know. The whole situation.
Listen, you're trying to make sense of nonsense.
Exactly.
And it just
You're right. You're right. Can't fix crazy.
You really can't fix crazy. You really can't fix crazy. You want to talk a little bit of baseball?
Yeah, I'm always up to talk a little baseball. Pitchers and catchers getting closer.
Pitchers and catchers getting closer. Josh Hader, 5-year,
former racist Josh Hader.
So let me ask you this:
he'll fit right in with the Astros.
First off, Astros. I like the Astros when they were in the National League before they were cheaters.
Bagwell, Biggio.
Yes, sir.
Berkman.
The Killer Bees. Yep. Yeah. In the American League, I can't root for them.
Morgan Ensberg. There's an unforgettable for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The Astros already have a closer.
Cameron. Was he there for a second?
The Astros have a closer. Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
We're just going to have 2 closers? We're just going to do 2? We're just going to be like, all right, now you're the closer A. and your closer B.
They go out there, the first pitch, they're like, nope, you don't have it tonight.
Well, I just want so there's something to be said for so.
They're just going to warm them both up every time so nobody knows which one's coming out.
If you looked at the Blue Jays teams that made the deep runs in like the 2016 or whatever, they're like Batista years.
Donaldson.
Yeah. They had Roberto Osuna, noted dirtbag. Beat his wife, so we don't like him, but whatever. He was electric when he pitched. And they had Aaron Sanchez warming up as the 8th inning guy. And it kind of like spurred this, like, let's shorten the games. And then they started doing this analytic bullshit with the opener, which I absolutely hate. Absolutely hate the opener. But they're like, let's just shorten the game. And I'm wondering if Houston's just like, we're just going to do 2 closers. We'll just, our starters will go. It's 5 innings.
Closer.
It's just 5-6 innings. And then it's just like one guy that's like for middle relief if they can't get through that. And then it's just multiples of closers. Like I can pitch them each for an inning because nobody's getting gassed. And there'll just be holds and saves. And they'll like just alternate.
Do you feel like closing pitchers aren't as good anymore?
It's a good question. I don't know.
I feel like there were so many guys that I viewed as like elite closers, even up until like the early 2010s.
Sure.
And I feel like there's a bunch of guys now that are good. They have good seasons, but there's very few closers that I would send out there that I like fear. There's no Mario, and I understand, like, I'm going to say crazy. Yeah, exactly. There's Mariano, Trevor Hoffman, but even guys like Francisco Rodriguez, Houston Street was an animal for a few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, those guys were unhittable for a second. And Aroldis Chapman, when he was in the, like, in his first couple years there. And I feel like we don't have, like, shutdown closers anymore.
There are guys
there's just few.
The problem is, so even guys that are just really good closers don't give you the same level of fear that you would get from like Mariano Rivera. Mariano Rivera came in and you were like, well, I guess that's the game because
that's over. Right.
You're not good. The chances of you getting a hit was
it's partly
so
what made the
04
low. Comeback so crazy is because they did it
yeah.
pretty much sparked off of hitting Mariano, which
yes. But like nobody is like, oh, here comes Jordan Romano. He's gonna kill us. Even though Jordan Romano is like top 5 closer in the American League in terms of like numbers and production, nobody's like, oh, that guy's coming out.
No. That's what I mean.
He's just a good pitcher. I guess there's definitely like a lack of, we need some more personality in the closer position needs to have personality. Tommy Trumpets, like,
oh, who's the
that.
Cardinals closer for all that? Ingrahausen? Is that right?
Might be,
Jason Ingrahausen?
Yeah.
I gotta Google that now.
I need more personality in my closer. Hader with his long hair is fine, but like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Houston making their moves. Also, the Baseball Hall of Fame did its normal thing that it does every year. While you're looking up closers, they don't put people in when they need to be in, and they put some people in. Like, shout out to Adrian Beltre, who's like a no doubter. I mean, I would have absolutely put Beltre in.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I forgot who else just came in. It just left my mind. Can't believe I forgot this right now. It was Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer, Todd Helton,
noted Rockies legend. That man looks like his beard never aged a day. Like Todd Helton's beard looked painted on. It was like immaculate.
You're right. You're actually totally right. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah. Mauer
was just stamped on there. Yeah. It's still, did you see his reaction to his election? No. It's still just as grand as it was.
Mauer was kind of the face of baseball video games for a long time.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
the face of the show. You remember that?
Yep.
Mauer.
He was the best. I like Joe Mauer. I always thought he was a really good player. I wish he played somewhere other than fucking Minnesota at some point in his career. But I get it. He's like Mr. Twin.
Piazza. Mauer with power. Then we found out it was the Jews.
Good shit, too.
Yeah, listen. For one, there were a ton of guys that weren't that got votes but didn't get in. One of them in particular pisses me off every single time, and that's so Billy Wagner, for one, didn't get in.
Yeah, that one was ridiculous.
Gary Sheffield.
Again, talk about a guy you would fear coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Billy Wagner.
Sheffield, not in. Pardon? Andrew Jones. Not in. Carlos Beltran. Not in. And then we start getting into and those guys all had 57% or higher of the vote.
I remember when Ortiz retired and everyone was like, I don't know if he's going to get in. It's like the guy had 500 plus home runs. Like, if he doesn't get in, how the fuck are you supposed to? And there's so many of those guys across
A-Rod, Manny, Chase Utley, Omar Vizquel, who played 200 years in the big leagues.
It was good for 198 of them.
Yeah, Bobby Abreu, Jimmy Rollins, Andy Pettit, Mark
Bobby
Burley,
Abreu. I still just think back to that home run derby.
Efrod, Francisco Rodriguez, Torrey Hunter, and David Wright all on there. And this is the ultimate valid point. How is Pete Rose not in the Hall of Fame is beyond me. I don't care.
Because he gambles.
You want to have a catch with Chase Utley?
You want to have a catch with Chase Utley? I want to have a catch with Chase Utley.
It's
the best fucking show.
It's Always Sunny is amazing. The Hall of Fame does this on a regular basis to us, like on a regular basis, where they will say things like, "Oh, we're going to let this guy in, but not you." And I heard a great, not that I want to give shout outs to the big networks anywhere because we're not a network and we're just doing what we want to do. But I was watching Around the Horn, great show, and they brought up a great point. Major League Baseball has already said that all of these guys are valid by leaving them on the ballot. If you're on the ballot, you should be eligible to get in. And for some arbitrary bullshit reason, we get, all right, here we go. We're not going to put in Andrew Jones, who's the best defensive center fielder that any of us will have ever seen in, I don't know, the next 20 years.
Unless besides Mr. One, Jackie Bradley Jr.
JBJ.
JB Jesus.
Kevin Kiermaier has entered the chat. We'll see what happens. Also, hey, let's give a round of applause for North Carolina. Hey, welcome to the club. Welcome. Come with me and lose lots of money.
Anyway,
Hall of Fame is bullshit.
By the way, Lions plus 6.5. Lock it in.
I don't know how you can validate anything the Hall of Fame does at this point. More time is spent talking about players not in than players that are in.
Right.
And that's shitty because Adrian Beltre deserves the credit. Like the guys that get in, like Todd Helton was a beast. Of course he deserves to.
Adrian Beltre had 3,000 hits.
Like what are we
talking about?
Of course we're talking about guys we should be talking about the guys that are in, but instead we're talking about how voters have been absolutely ridiculous. It's why so many people don't want to be. I feel like we should apply to be part of the Baseball Writers Association of America.
We should,
so we can get our votes and we can start skewing these results.
I want to do it.
We're doing it.
As many people that we can get.
House of Reprehensibles. Let's get together. Join the Baseball Writing Association of America to get our votes.
Love it.
We're gonna single-handedly get Pete Rose back in.
The thing that blows my mind too is baseball is an individual sport.
Yes.
It should be so easy to look at a guy and look at his numbers and go, yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
It's not, it's not really like, oh, that guy has rings, that guy doesn't. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, that guy led his team to a Super Bowl. There's no Eli Manning conversation. You would look at his stats if he didn't go no. But because it's such a different sport, things are skewed differently. And again, baseball should be the easiest sport to be. Is he in or is he not? And it becomes so fucking convoluted every single year. And, well, this guy did steroids and he can't get in. We didn't let this guy in, so we can't let that guy in. It's ridiculous. Cooperstown itself, though, fucking incredible. Anybody who likes baseball should go at least once because it was awesome.
In the NHL, I couldn't agree more. The Islanders made a change at coach.
Sure did.
They brought in Patrick Waugh.
Your boy.
I want you to guess. Patrick Waugh is my favorite hockey player of all time. He's the reason I started watching hockey. It's sad that he's not coaching Montreal. He should be the Canadiens' head coach. He is an all-time legend there. I'm glad he got a chance to get back behind the bench in the NHL level. Do you want to guess his coaching record at the junior level? 13 seasons with the Quebec Rempart of the QMJHL, which now has a new stupid name.
Was it 82 games?
I believe they're similar length seasons. Might be 63 or whatever, but you're going to be blown away by this. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be stupid.
I'm going to say he's got no more than 200 losses.
He has a record of 524, 255, and 66. He has 524 wins at the junior level.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And people are talking, he's I don't know why they brought him in. His NHL coaching record. You want to take a guess at that? It's 3 seasons. 3 full seasons with Colorado. They have 130 wins and 92 losses. He's 130 and 92.
If you put all those numbers together, that's what Tao's going to blow in March once sports betting gets legalized.
Yeah. Let's take a look at, I just want to see this. I'm going to just take a wild stab here because this is we're leading into our question of the day. You want to take a guess at Sheldon Keefe's coaching record with that stacked team that he has there?
It's under 500.
It's over 500.
It feels like it's under 500.
I know it does.
No, I'm going to guess he's probably got like a 57 win percentage.
He's 162 and 70. 162, 70, and 33. He's as a coach, Mike Babcock is worse than Patrick Waugh. Randy Carlyle for the Leafs was worse than Patrick Waugh. Like Patrick Waugh was hired.
Phil Kessel, Randy Carlyle story is so fucking
still amazing,
hilarious.
It's still amazing. Patrick Waugh being hired is probably the best thing for this team. Just being truthful, I think that I think that they'll get everything that they want out of him as a coach, and I think that it was a wise choice. And any thoughts on that before I bring us to our tops of the tops?
I'm ready for it.
That brings us to our question of the day, which is who's on your goalie Mount Rushmore? We did get one answer in chat that I got to highlight from MVT, Stephen Tao.
Absolutely.
We're going to change it. So he's got Lundqvist. That's on there. Fleury, Patrick Waugh, and because it's his Mount Rushmore, Braden Holtby.
This is my moment.
All right. So we created our own number 4s here, our own top 4s, our own Mount Rushmores for goalies.
We did. I want to take this time to. I feel like we should do something with like closers next week.
Closers, it is next week.
Yeah.
So get your thoughts in. Get us on the socials.
Now I'm locked in on closers.
Mount Rushmore.
I'm about to go back and watch prime Eric Gagne highlights.
Trevor Hoffman. Eric Gagne what a moment that was, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm not going to put them in a particular order. These are just going to be, they're not organized. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4 as in like, this is first place overall. Maybe it is. I don't know. Number 4, Dominic Hasek.
Yep. He's on there.
Dominator has to be on there for me.
That was one of my no doubters.
His style of play was just so outrageous. I replicated it in ball hockey as best I could. Like that was my favorite way to play goalie in ball hockey, was just limbs everywhere, big old poke checks, just swinging and all over the place. It's crazy town. It's got to be the Dominator. Got to be.
Love it.
Who do you got?
So I have Hasek on there. I'm gonna save my 4 because it's currently only penciled in. I have not.
Okay.
I'm open to change. So I'm gonna give you another obvious one with Hasek. Martin Brodeur.
Marty Brodeur has
Easy.
to be on the list.
Easy.
Yeah, I think that has to be on the list. His career numbers speak for themselves.
Fucking
but also,
ridiculous.
He followed as Roy was finishing his career. He was the guy in there, and it was just kind of his shutout record is stupid. He also had the benefit of like one of the best defensive trap systems in the league ever. So good that they actually banned it. They said no more trap. Can't do that.
You're not allowed to do that. You're way too good at that.
You better stop that. Sound familiar, Philadelphia?
691 wins, 397 losses, 125 shutouts.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Career goals against 2.24, 91 save percentage, and his accolades are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he's won everything and anything.
3 cups, 4 Vezinas. I believe he's the only goalie to be on a cover for NHL. They might have changed, but
since then, but yeah. I got a couple of guys that I'm going to mention that didn't quite make my list, but I think are important to talk about because I think we have, obviously Patrick Waugh's on the list. I'm not going to pretend that he's not my number 1.
Right.
He is my number 1. I made no allusions to it, but I want to mention
I have Waugh, Hasek, and Brodeur, as I'm sure you did as well.
I think they all need to be on there. Some guys that don't really get the love that need the love. Eddie Belfour.
Yeah, I didn't even think about him.
Ed Belfour was an all-timer in terms of saves. He was elite in Chicago. Unfortunately, went to the Leafs and did what he could there. Kept losing in the Stanley Cup because everybody crushed him. Marc-Andre Fleury. Currently still playing.
He was one of the ones I wanted to talk about. He was on there.
Where you put Flower? Where you think he's a Hall of Fame career, right?
So, like I said, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I have him fringe top 5. He was one of the guys I had like thoughts about for 4, which I'll say I currently have Jonathan Quick penciled in as my 4.
Yeah,
he's got all the cups. I
should have said that we have. I think I put a 90s forward.
Yeah, we did. It was 90s
onward. And the reason we did that is because I don't want to like disrespect the legends of the past, but like I was born in the 80s, and I watched I remember watching hockey.
Born in 99.
Growing up. Dub's born in the 90s,
barely.
So like not really. I don't think it's fair. Obviously, we've seen highlights, but I don't want to play the game where it's like we're talking about, Wilt dropping, 100 points as if we saw the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, God, not our generation.
I remember.
So like, I feel like it's Bob Cousy.
Cousy. Bob Cousy was a best point guard.
I feel like it's
let's
better.
Go.
I feel like it's just better to do it that way, where we put a number on it. So the 90s forward is what we're looking at. Crawford is an interesting case study because Corey Crawford was lights out. He lights out for those
glove high.
I know. Yeah.
Glove high.
How many cups he got?
I know, but glove high.
Got the Stanley. He's got Lord Stanley. And then we got the guys that are still
guys that's
playing
better
today.
on his stick side than his glove, and I'll never understand it.
No,
I'll never understand it.
When I played goalie, always glove side. Stick side was impossible.
Yeah,
You shoot blocker high on me, forget about it. I gotta you create a hole. There's it's a big gap here. Like just shoot for this spot or over it, and you can't get to it. Not happening. But instead, they were just like glove high. Glove is easy because I played baseball.
Baseball,
too.
Right?
Glove is.
That's what's always blown my mind about it, because I was like, it's like fucking baseball. Like, I understand the reaction time's crazy, but
yeah,
yeah, being a professional goalie and being better on your stick side than your glove will never not.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Perplex me.
You got any other holdouts that you're thinking that we need to kind of mention there? Because there's just so many incredible guys.
I wish Tuukka got another one, because it was Tim Thomas's cup. You know what I mean?
I feel like Tuukka's got to be on the list. Is he not?
He's fringe. I don't know.
Ronnie Hextall?
That's a good one. I was thinking, I just had it for Ryan Miller was really good for a minute. Luongo,
Carey Price is my 4. Carey Price is my number 4.
All of those guys I feel like are in the same kind of tier, but I felt like Quick was the most dominant out of all of them. So that's why I went with.
You ready for an unforgettable?
Yeah.
John Van Beesbrook.
Ooh.
Where do we think Roberto Luongo belongs on this list?
He's in there.
Bobby Lou's got to be in there. All-time Twitter follow.
Yeah, he was a guy I hated for a long time because of the Canucks thing, and then he grew on me as I got older.
Yeah, he went back to Florida.
Right, I was like, he's kind of funny. He's
Jonathan Quick.
That's why I feel like Quick might be my 4. I want to put Tuukka on there. I feel like Tim Thomas needs some love.
Pekka Rinne.
Oh, Pekka Rinne was a monster for a second. Cam Ward.
What about the Kipper? Mika Kiprusoff.
I can't. Oh my God. I have him in my phone, but I didn't put it in my actual computer notes. Fuck, you're right. I can't believe I didn't even say. It took that long to say fucking Kiprusoff. I fucking love Kiprusoff. Those Flames teams. I used to play with them in Shell all the time with Iginla, Phaneuf, Kiprusoff. Oh my God, those teams were the best.
Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that deserve. I'm going to throw one other unforgettable at you, and then I think we can move to our NHL
I get unforgettable
rankings.
All day.
I love unforgettable.
I got a couple side things before we could get to the
let's do it.
Power rankings.
Nikolai Habibulin.
Oh yeah, he was good too. Backstrom was good for a second too.
Absolutely. These are this is it.
Red Wings.
Chris Osgood.
Yeah, he was really good. Jimmy Howard, he was hot for a second. That was who I was thinking. It was Jimmy Howard. But yeah, Osgood too. I didn't even think of him. Vasilevsky? Where do we put Vasilevsky?
He's got to be up there all time. Eventually, when he calls it, man, it's going to be tough to argue with his place in history.
His resume is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. That's the problem. We're at a point now where the people that we watched growing up that retired so long, guys retired, and it's oh, where do they sit? And it's shit, they're way ahead stat wise versus the guys that I watched. It's hard. I watched Patrick Waugh and Martin Brodeur growing. That's my childhood.
Pasternak
and at some point
has 60 less goals than Marchand, and he's played 600 less games. And you think all the goals, all the times I've seen Marchand score in my Bruins life, it's just crazy that
Connor McDavid's gonna get to 1,000, and we're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. All right, Dubs, you had some side things.
Yeah. UFC real quick. Kayla Harrison, they saw it finally. This has been years in the making.
Gonna happen.
Yeah, signed. Going for UFC 300 versus Holly fucking Holm. Banger of a fight.
Let me ask you this: is UFC 300 going to be it? Is it going to be the one?
I think UFC. I like the UFC 200 card way more than this one. I'll be honest.
It just feels like they're trying real hard to make it bigger than it is.
But
it's
I
like
agree.
hype machine. I was looking at some of the I didn't like the co-mains. I think it's weird. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, right now it's just. I'll read it real quick. Justin
Yeah.
Gaethje, Max Holloway, Weili Zhang, and I can never say this lady's name, but yeah, Jan, Jiri Prochka, Rakic, Calvin Kattar, Aljamain Sterling. They've added a few since I've seen it last.
Yeah.
But like for a little while, Bo Nickel was like the
it's
highest.
Okay. It's not like it's
just
bad.
not.
It's just
Jim
not,
Miller, Bobby Green is actually a banger of a fight.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fucking slugfest.
Let me ask you.
Figgy and Garbrandt's not bad, but it's not like if you look at the UFC 200 card, it's absolutely fucking loaded top to bottom.
Let me ask you. This is my hot take, my UFC hot take. Ground and pound sucks. Just hit the guy. I'd really rather just people beat the shit out of each other.
I agree. Then people are like, go watch boxing, and it's like MMA is better.
No, I don't want. No, I don't want boxing because boxing has stupid gloves. Although I love a good boxing match, like a proper
even more.
Floyd Mayweather made that. Floyd Mayweather made that unwatchable.
Unwatchable. Everyone
completely unwatchable. Everybody's he's like, let me just play defense for 4 hours, and it's like, God damn it, I don't want to do that. There is nothing more annoying than watching someone be like, oh, he's got the back, and it's like, I'm just watching you hug it out for like 2 minutes at a time, and then it's like, oh, I won.
Annoying.
I won on.
Like I like when you see like a fucking submission that's dope. Guy puts you in an arm bar, a choke.
Submission is
cool.
different though. Yeah, submission is different.
But when you're just like getting points, wrestling, it's fucking.
It's boring, man.
I'm good.
Give me two guys or girls that just want to like swing them. I'm fine with a little bit of defense. I'm fine with a like feeling out thing, but God, there is nothing I hate more than they got the back and now they're just on the ground and it's like 3 minutes of, I'm holding you. You could play Stand By Me in the background and it's just awful. I'm out. Seacrest out. What else you got?
I'm just blown away by this the UFC 200 card. There's 12 former champions on that card compared to this one.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar, which just pulls in a whole different. Shout out Jim Miller though. He was on UFC 200 and 300. And you want to know something even better? He was on UFC 100.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, just ridiculous.
Jim Miller's a fucking man, dude. Can you imagine he's been around in the UFC that long, just fucking taking beatings, dishing them out, training every day. Fuck that.
Yeah. No, thank you.
It's hard enough to work out once a week, let alone fucking training, sprinting up mountains and taking fucking one leg kick would shut me down for months. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing anything physical again.
At one point, I was going to go see if I could train, just like not to fight, but like just go through the training of it and like you would and spar and like do the fun stuff,
right?
And
learn how to throw kicks and shit.
Guy came in after I knew that did it, and he was like just bruised everywhere, and he was like, yeah, it was super fun. He's like, you will get the shit beat out of you, and I was like, that doesn't sound as appealing as it first did. It sounds okay at first. You're like, yeah, all right, I'll learn how to throw my punches, get my hits in, get some anger out. But really what you're going to do is you're going to go in there and be a bag for someone else.
Correct. Some veteran in the gym sees a new guy walk in and they're like, I'm going to butcher.
I'll spar. You want to spar?
You want to spar with me? Okay, let's do this. No, I just saw a video the other day of this dude who was, he trained in something. I think he was just a boxer and he was going in the gym with this MMA guy, and he was like, you can leg kick me, like I'll eat that and swing on you, like it wouldn't do anything to me. And he wanted to do it no pad, and the guy was like, you should put a leg pad on. They finally got him to. He hit him and the guy was like down. He was like, oh. It's fuck that. I'm not built for that. Nope. Tom Aspinall calls out Stipe Miocic for ducking him at UFC 300, said it was offered. He didn't want it, which Stipe probably saw that and went, I'm not fighting you. He wants John Jones, and that's it. He's been dusted his last couple fights. He's getting old. He wants that big money fight, and that'll be it. Saw that he got punked. Yeah, he did.
Absolutely, he did. Yeah.
Amanda Nunes, UFC 200 veteran, just retired recently, 2023. She was asked on a potential UFC return. She said, "I think I made the right decision retiring, resting a little bit, taking care of the babies. I can't leave Nina with 2 babies by herself. So I'm enjoying it too, but I'm still healthy, powerful. I still feel like a champion. So we'll see." So left the door open at least.
Door's open.
Yeah.
I think she was right to retire, though. She was on top.
There's nobody that could ever look at women's fighting and not call her the GOAT.
Nope.
She beat 100%. Fucking everybody and handedly.
Yeah, some of the best.
Retired with the belts. Just like Amanda Nunes is like next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Like so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
and you knew it was going to be like.
And she came up off the back of that whole trifecta of Rousey and Holm and Misha Tate.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, these guys, they're the best. Then all of a sudden, Amanda Nunes came through and dusted all of them.
No,
and you're like, oh shit. Well, she can't beat Cyborg, and then she beat the shit out of Cyborg, and then you're like, I don't know, I got nothing left for her.
There is none without Ronda, though. That's the problem.
Correct.
Ronda got them all to that point, and then had a fun stint with Roddy Piper's.
And now they're going to try to recreate it with Kayla Harrison, and we'll
see what happens. No, it's not.
She's also not the same, like. I don't know, Ronda was Ronda, you know what I mean? Like she's got 100%. Her whole air to her.
Yep. Yeah, she did.
And last thing before we get to again an abbreviated power rankings, WWE new Netflix deal.
$5 billion
with a B.
Billy for
over
10 years.
They said, Shohei, I raise you one. Vince McMahon just put his dick on the table.
I wonder. So my question is, do you think Peacock was like, hey, we want the Raw deal? And Netflix was like,
exactly what happened.
Netflix was like, oh, we can't lose to these guys again. Like Bezos paid all that money for Thursday Night Football. Everybody else
was my first thought.
Everybody else is paying all this money and they're getting all the sports. And Netflix is like, we need something. And Vince McMahon is God, I forget his name, but he's selling a monorail right now. He's walking in and telling them that he just sold one to Shelbyville right now, and Netflix is like, "We'll take it.
We'll take it. We're in. Yeah, $5 billion. We're in.
Unreal.
We're fucking in.
It's
wild time to be alive. Money is just nothing. It feels like it's just a number written on paper.
It's an abstract, man. Begins in 2025. It's $500 million per year.
Also, their TV deal runs out in August, so I don't know what they're gonna do in between.
Yeah, WWE's 5-year deal with Raw with NBC was $250 million a year.
Imagine they push SummerSlam to August. They have Roman finally fucking lose, and they cut off, and they just don't come back until January. That'd actually be kind of hype.
This is the big difference, and I think like people forget about this when they talk about streaming. So when you watch the games recently, the NFL playoff games that were aired on streaming services only, that's aired on it's aired on TV up here.
Oh, lucky you.
In most places, not everywhere, but in most places, because the streaming service either isn't available or the Canadian Regulatory Commission was like, "Now we paid for the rights once, so we just get it." Here's the caveat to this Netflix deal.
I'm scrolling through notes and text messages trying to find a fucking PIN code and fucking passwords and shit, trying to log in a fucking Peacock.
Yeah. Under the Netflix deal, Netflix will become the home of Raw in the US, Canada, the UK, Latin America, and other territories when the deal begins. So the difference is that this is not a deal specifically for the US rights. This isn't for American rights only.
If you want to watch it, you got to have Netflix.
Every time
watching a lot of Netflix.
Everybody that's watching Thursday Night Football on Prime, LOL, I just put it on my TV. I just want to point that out. Until Bezos decides that he's going to roll that shit out up here. We got them rights.
Lucky you, man. It's
It is what it is.
It didn't, without fail, Thursday I would go on because I watch my shit through Hulu. Like that's how I get my live TV. So I log on to Hulu, going on to my shit, and then I'm looking for the game. And then every time I go, fuck it, it's goddamn Thursday, goddamn it. Then I got to go searching for it through fucking Amazon. And then it cuts out all the time. It never fucking works right. You know what does work right? Hulu. You know what does work right? Cable, most of the time, unless I have to go scream at somebody over the phone. The streaming services games, NFL games at least, are fucking dog shit.
Everybody's shitting on cable real hard because of the price, but I gotta be honest with you, it works fine up here. I have no issue with it. I'll pay my money for my cable.
We were gonna get rid of it, and then we were like, well, we still want to pay you for our internet, and they're like, well, it's actually cheaper if you get internet and cable, so you should keep your cable. And I was like,
yes, that's how they get you.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, that's how they get everyone. Realistically, every time I've done this, I'm like, I'll just math out everything that I need to watch and want to watch, and I'm like, well, I want to watch House of the Dragon, so I need my HBO, which means I need Crave up here, and then it's like I need this, I need that, need sports, and by the time I'm done doing it out and then just adding internet only, I'm at the same fucking price. So you know what? I'm just gonna pay for the people that I know are gonna do it right. Screw this. We got power rankings.
I don't blame you. Yeah, I had abbreviated version tonight. We're gonna run long, so there's a lot to talk about. But not a lot has changed. It's mid-season. Everyone's kind of rolling into form. 32 Sharks. They did beat the Rangers last night, though.
Did you see the two guys diving on the ground?
Yes, it was actually right when I turned my TV on to watch the game. Priceless. I was like, oh my God, what is going on right now?
What that is you're literally tanking for Celebrini. That is the definition of I'm trying to get Celebrini. Good luck.
My Sharks Celebrini Woo logo.
Yeah.
31 Blackhawks, nothing's changed there. Ducks at 30, Columbus Blue Jackets 29, Sens at 28, 27. Your Montreal Canadiens.
Yep, just got dog walked by the Sens.
Sure did, and Cole by the Bruins the other night. Cole Caulfield's doing great. Well. Yeah,
we're a rebuilding team. We're not supposed to be good.
Nope. We'll give up 9 goals. We don't care about that.
Don't give a shit.
The Islanders. New York Fighting Patrick Waz.
See where they go. I'm telling you, watch out for that team, man.
They don't excite me. I have faith in Wah. I just don't think that roster is good enough to do anything.
It's not. They need to.
And I was telling you the stats last week. Their 5-on-5 numbers are fucking atrocious, and that's a pretty good indication. Yeah, exactly. But against the Cavs, he skipped that game against the Wild. Yeah, I just want me to breeze past that. They're coming quickly. St. Louis Blues at number 25. They're a bad team.
Yeah, they are.
They blow it up. Buffalo Sabres 24. Number 23, the Minnesota Wild. Just kidding. It's the Washington Capitals. Gotcha. Tricked you, pal, didn't I?
They're not great. Neither team is great.
They're bad. 5-3 loss the other night. They got blown out, shut out by the Blues. Can't happen. That's a bad hockey team right there. Number 21 or 22, excuse me, the Minnesota Wild. Number 21 is the Seattle Kraken. That whole hot streak they had, absolutely lighting it up. They have plummeted back to earth. 20, the Calgary Flames, who are just finding ways to win.
Yeah.
Got a cup in this century. So do I. I got a cup in this century. He doesn't.
I don't. But I have you.
I've got Trevor Zegras when he comes into frame.
That's all I got.
When he gets off the IR. Number 18, the Nashville Predators, another team that got hot for a second, starting to fall off. 17, New Jersey Devils.
They're in trouble.
Yeah, they just lost 2 players.
They did lost. They lost 2 players. Just a reminder, Google that shit.
Number 16, Sacramento, Jesus Christ, I got basketball on my brain. The Los Angeles Kings. Another, talk about plummeting. Yeah. This team was 1 in one of our power rankings, weren't they? Or 2?
Yeah.
They were up.
They were 1 in our week 2 show.
Yeah. And now they're down to 16, and I could have had them lower. I'm just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Number 15, the Philadelphia Flyers.
Also in trouble.
Yeah, starting to plummet. And that division is so tight, and the Penguins are going to get in. I'm telling you.
Their goaltending took a hit.
And they're next. Number 14, the Penguins. 13, Toronto Maple Leafs. They are not doing so hot right now.
My favorite thing about the power rankings is always the Maple Leafs position, because every time I'm like, maybe this time, maybe the Leafs will actually do something worth talking about. And then Austin Matthews scores 200 goals, and they still lose the game.
Yep.
Currently tied with the Winnipeg Jets, but they lost to Vancouver. Remember we told you
they lost to Vancouver. They lost to the Oilers. They lost to the Red Wings. They lost to the Avalanche. When they play good teams, they lose.
Don't worry. They beat the Kraken 3-1, so it's a good team. Oh, it gives me so much pleasure. Look, they beat the Flames. They beat the Flames, but like overtime loss to the Islanders, lost to the Avalanche, lost to the Wings, lost to the Oilers, barely beat the Flames, lost to the Canucks, and then they beat the Kraken. That's bad. That's not a good stretch.
Not good. No bueno. Number 12, the Detroit Red Wings.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to pick it up.
Yeah,
they're playing more like the team I expected them to be.
Yeah.
Number 11, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, another team that is starting to pick it up, looking better. I still don't believe in them or trust them. They're not what they were. They're like they're going to get the fans going. It is scary because
they could be what they are.
Exactly, and they have that fear in the back of my head. They've got monster under the bed.
Yeah.
Like, are they there? No, but they could be.
Could be there. Yeah.
Number 10, New York Rangers. Barely in the top 10 because you can't lose to the Sharks. Can't do it. I won't miss that. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're actually losing to the Sharks, and I turned it on and they were.
Yeah. It's not a good team.
No, they're frauds.
They're playing bad. They may be the Miami Dolphins of the NHL.
Good comp. The Maple Leafs are the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Rangers are the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Number 9, the Carolina Hurricanes.
That's just a well-coached team, and they're
starting
to figure it out. They're healthy.
Playing us right now.
They're healthy.
Yeah, and that's when they're scary because they're never healthy. And when they are, they usually run the table. Also, Rob Brindamore's a fantastic coach.
Rod the Bod. Got to watch out for that guy.
Number 8, Dallas Stars. Still believe.
Got to believe.
My bets believe. The Vegas Golden Knights at number 7. They're starting to, again, another team that's picking it back up. They had a horrible November and a pretty bad December.
They lost a bunch of guys during that time. They're getting them back.
They did. They're getting them back.
Getting healthy, so that'll help.
Correct. Florida Panthers. Oh, no.
They're winning 5-0 right now. I just want to point that out.
They are up 5-0 on the Coyotes. But who lost 4 in a row? The Panthers did.
You forgot to mention that Carolina's beating you 2-0 right now.
I know. I just said they're playing us. I didn't say the score. I just zoomed by it.
We're just gonna gloss over that.
Yeah, we are. I was like, oh yeah, we're playing though. Yeah.
Yeesh. Panthers losing is not gonna help. Number 5, we got probably the most lethal team when healthy in the NHL.
The Colorado Avalanche. New Nordiques jersey. See that? Shit's fresh.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Really?
I don't because
it's not really if you don't look at it. Exactly.
This is it. Honestly, I feel it's kind of like the Houston Texans
check engine light on my car. It's not
the Houston Texans wearing the Oilers jerseys, the Houston Oilers jerseys. It's like it's not really who you are. You're not that team, and like the Avalanche were that team, but like I don't know. Look, they're nice. They look good, but it's like Carolina wearing the Whalers jerseys, man.
I just don't like it.
I don't like it. It doesn't feel right.
Like it.
Something feels off. Like grilled cheeses at night. I make them. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I'll shout out Uncle Danny. The Jets at number 4. The good Jets. Not good enough to beat the Bruins, though. said, "Hey, what's up? 4-1. Get the fuck out of here."
Good enough to beat everybody else. Third period right now against the Leafs, no score. That's tight.
I just looking at that myself. That's because Connor Hellebuyck is an absolute fucking demon.
He will be on the Mount Rushmore of goaltenders at some point.
I think he will be too. He's unreal.
Yeah.
And he does all that acrobatic fucking kick saves and shit. The guy's crazy.
He's stupid good.
He's got 22 wins, 2.19 goals against, 92.5 save percentage. And he's allowed 2 or fewer goals in 19 of his past 20 games. And he's doing it again. So 20 for 21.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Number 3, the Boston Bruins. As I just said, a big win over the Winnipeg Jets. It's mainly why we're there. If you notice something, all these teams I'm saying outside probably the Avalanche, fantastic goaltending. Jets, Bruins, number 2, the Canucks. Thatcher Demko has been an absolute animal. Average goal differential of 1.28 for the Canucks, which is like way higher than everybody else. The next closest is 1.08, and then it falls into the 0.9s.
Yeah, it's way down there.
Way down there. Electric offense. Demko's been crazy. And then the only offense that's been more electric, the number 1 Edmonton Oilers.
You skipped number 2.
2 is Canucks.
The Canuckles.
Yeah, I was just talking about Thatcher Demko. And
oh, fuck, listen. I got distracted because it's not Hellebuyck in net.
I was still thinking about Connor Hellebuyck.
I was like, is Hellebuyck really doing that? And then I wanted to see who was in net for the Leafs. It's actually Samsonov, which is
wow. I didn't think that.
Yeah. So Samsonov in net against Laurent Brossoit.
Dude, it's gotta be so awkward just getting cut and brought back up and cut and brought back up and cut and brought back up.
Edmonton's on a tear, man. Are they going to beat the record?
12 straight games right now.
You think they're going to beat the record? He didn't mean to. No, he didn't. He didn't mean to. Wasn't intentional. That's our power rankings.
I don't think they're going to get the record.
They're going to be close.
They're up to 14 in a row now. It's fucking ridiculous. They did get Corey Perry, though.
Scory Perry.
Yeah. Gotta lock the liquor cabinet.
Collecting Connor's moms like Infinity Stones.
Sure is. McDavid. Bedard. Who's next?
Hellebuyck, got to watch out.
He's going to go to Winnipeg, switch it up. Kyle, what's up? Coming for Mrs. Connor now.
Jeez. Oh, man. Let's do a quick game of the week before we jump into your Stone stories.
Yes, sir.
I am really curious to see. So I'm going to go tomorrow, Oilers and Hawks. It feels like a trap game because the Oilers are on a tear. Like they're on an absolute tear. And the Hawks are bad. They can't score. So this should be an easy win for Edmonton. However, this is always the time where the bad team will outplay them. I also like on the 26th, LA is playing Colorado.
I'm going to go on the 26th as well, but I'm going to go Golden Knights Rangers.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice. It's time for Stone Stories.
Sure is. Quick one tonight, which is good because we're running long. But according to Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, Sheriff Judd, I like that. Sounds like a Dukes of Hazzard character. A deputy pulled over Robert Brush, which these sound fake. I understand.
Yeah.
Pull over Robert Brush. He was driving with an obstructed license tag. Well, that's no big deal unless, of course, you've got meth in your car, meth in your waistband. And oh, by the way, when the nice deputy stops to ask for your driver's license, stops to tell you they've got an obstructed tag, you hand him your driver's license. What's on it, Armchair?
Meth.
Right on the license. Can you imagine handing him just like a full fucking rail of cocaine on your fucking license? You're like, here you go, officer. Nothing out of the ordinary here.
Jesus Christ.
Also, the guy knew him by name. He was like, what are you doing, Robert? Like, why are you driving with an obstructed license? Which is just peak Florida, man.
Yeah. This feels like the minor offense in all of the things that are going.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Love that.
Oh, come on.
Trimetta.
Yeah.
I wish. I'll be honest. I wish I thought of it. I'm slightly jealous.
Yeah, that's great.
I should have had that. Should have had that.
That's a lead comment from MVT.
The sheriff was the one that said that whole quote. By the way, like, think it's all good. You drive with this instructor license, but you hand me meth, we got a problem. Said Brush is no stranger to law enforcement. As I said, he knew him by name. He's been in jail dozens of times, state prison once. Just classic Florida shit. The other story I was gonna use instead of this was somebody killed their neighbor because he was snoring too loud. They went over and had an 1.5 hour long dispute. They were like trying to block him from coming in the window, and the guy was like, "You got, like, I'll help you. I'll pay for your surgery to get like whatever he needs to get done. So you stop, but like we're got to figure this out." And the guy was like, "All right." And they apparently went to go handshake, and the guy that was going to pay for the surgery, the neighbor that came over angry, pulled a knife out mid handshake and stabbed the guy. Crazy shit. So I gave you it anyway because I was fucking mind blown. But yeah, there you go. Those are your stone stories, plural, I guess.
Hey, it's time for last call. We appreciate everybody for jumping into the show today. Thanks
Absolutely.
for the MVT. My last call is don't forget about the baseball off season. It has been super slow, but we're going to have some fun stuff. Mount Rushmore of closers next week. We're also going to do way too early pre rankings of teams.
We might build a perfect hockey player.
Build the perfect hockey player.
We still got the wrestling fantasy football draft to do too. We got a lot on the docket.
Usually during this time we would love to do those things, but for whatever reason this week was hella packed with news. So it was a good time. You got any parting thoughts?
I've been dabbling in Twitch a little bit. Done a couple streams.
Put the tag in the thing. Is it just Stone Sports?
Yeah, it's just Stone Sports Podcast. Full one word.
Toss in a chat. Go follow them on the old Twitch machines.
Yeah, we've been streaming some video games, a little Lethal Company, a little finals. Yeah, just fucking keeping it light. I'm probably gonna be doing Monday and Tuesday streams once football season's wrapped up. And then yeah, we got
check out don't forget the Tuesday show. You got the Tuesday show.
So I was just gonna say lots to talk about on Tuesdays. That's coming to an end, but we're gonna try to find some other
we're gonna see if we can get them on to talk wrestling with us.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Yeah.
If anybody wants to be on the show and is interested in a topic, please
we gotta get John Ball on preseason baseball time.
Ball, 100%. We got the crew. We'll get us around. We'll do a baseball roundtable. So it's been fun. We appreciate everybody for liking, sharing, subscribing. Let us know when you're interested next. We will be here next week, same time as per always. For Dubs, I am, of course, Armchair. We will see you next week. Peace.